Hello, everybody. Arsenal Fan Circle here. It is the Sunday show. Pull up a chair. You're all welcome. And we've had some tough times over the years. We started this podcast about 4 years ago, and we've assembled. Tony and Gary's joined the crew. Gary's doing his own thing as well, so go check out DWTT over there.
Little did you know what would happen with Gary, did you, Ray?
Created a monster, didn't I, Tony?
First time you do it behind doors, and Gary's on every Arsenal podcast there is.
I know what you're talking about.
But he's been here, Tony. He's been here through the tough times and the good times and the bad times, just like you, Tony, and everyone else.
What's bad now, Ray, is that he actually has to show up in the office during our good times. He actually has to show up at work, so.
Yes, it is bad. Work does get in the way of things we like to do, and we like to talk about Arsenal. And work, that little thing called work, Gary, gets a little bit in the way. But we've had some bad times, and now we're looking at some good times, Gary. We're in the midst of it, maybe.
Yep. And thank you, Ray, for having let me join. Yeah, as you said, let me finish. You just shut up. You made me. This is 2023, Tony. Let's start off on a good foot.
We know what Tony's New Year's resolution is not. We know what he's not.
It's definitely not. It's not letting Gary have a word and then complaining when Gary has a word. Yeah, that's what.
No,
all right,
so Gary talks 2/3 of a show.
All right, Tony.
All right, can I talk now? Can I talk now? All right, so here we go. Sam, welcome to the show, but let me get my say. No, I wanted to say, Ray, thank you for having me on the channel. As you said, I was definitely nervous when I did my first show, so we did it behind closed doors. Spent like about an hour, almost 2 hours, I think, chatting about Arsenal. And since then, as you say, I've been on many shows since, have my own channel and all of that I do regularly. So, I'm enjoying this thing called YouTube. So thank you for that. Yeah, this has been a cool ride with Arsenal Fan Circle. We've had a lot of, like you said, a lot of ups and downs. We're getting a lot more ups right now, so I'm enjoying that. And everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us as well on this ride. At least for me, it's a ride. We've been having a lot of fun with it lately. Hope that continues. And it's 2023, so why not? And today was actually a good day for Arsenal. Once again, I hope the football gods aren't laughing at us, but you know what? Everybody else is hating us, and I love it. So there you go.
Long may that continue. Derek Skinner said, let's go. First show of the year, and we get to stick it to everyone. Some nice results floating around the league as well. Tottenham get battered everywhere they go. Brings to mind, even at home. But Sam, welcome as well. You joined just a few moments ago there.
I picked up points, Ray.
But he's going to chirp up if I don't go to him next, Sam. You do understand.
I'll go to him. Go to Sam.
Put him out of his misery. Go on.
He's got some energy to expend.
Go ahead, Tony. First.
Go to Tony first.
Well, fuck. Let's just go up at the same time and see what happens.
No, that's the problem. Go on, Tony. You want to say like one thing for like 30 seconds, and then as soon as Sam talks, you have about 5 minutes of content. So that's I
thought we were starting off this year in a new way.
Well, let's try it. All right. So Sam. He said, let's try something new, 2023. Sam, I guess you get to go.
Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, then. Here we go, then. Well, I just want to say thanks for having me on again. It's always a pleasure to be on with you guys. It's always fun. It's always a laugh. Tony, you got to love him. He always adds that little bit of spice and extra stuff that we never prepared for. It's always good fun. I want to say Happy New Year to everyone here, of course. Happy 2023. Hope the new year is going to be a better year for everyone than 2022. I want to say the same to everyone in the chat. I want to say thank you to everyone for taking part in our little show here. As always, we have a nice little core of people who share our experience here and take part, and it's always great fun. It's always great to see you guys. Are a really great bunch of guys. And girls sometimes as well in the chat. Mm-hmm. And I want to wish them, of course, a happy and prosperous 2023 as well. Hope you guys had a nice Christmas celebration and a nice New Year celebration. And yeah, it's I think we're starting 2023 on a nice high now with Arsenal. Top of the table, 7 points clear. It's a nice place to start our Arsenal fan circle for 2023, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the commentator said yes. Listen, the media might try to spice this up a little bit. We've got to be aware of this. Yesterday, Rebecca Lowe said Arsenal started the year of 2022 15 points behind City, and now they're 7. They find themselves 7 points ahead of City at the end of the year. The media are going to start to churn the narrative, and we have to stay calm and collected. Just I feel like the team have to stay calm and collected and take it one game at a time, But Sam, I did really enjoy. One thing I want to do is the Odegaard basketball gesture. So 3 points Arsenal, Sam. How about Odegaard?
I'll tell you what, that kid is just getting better and better, isn't he? I tweeted yesterday. I said, all the people who are mugging him off and sort of doubting him and saying, why do we get him instead of Buendia and all this lot, who very very much against him for a while. I was like, just wait and see. This kid is incredible. And finally, now that I think this season he is really coming into his own and he's developed. The team has gelled, that has helped, and he has also developed. He feels more comfortable. I think the role he's playing in now, he's getting comfortable with. Arteta's giving him that little bit of lease of freedom that he needs, and he's finding his feet very well. And I think now he's just coming into his own. We're finally getting now. He's showing us what I definitely saw coming a long time ago, and what many other people saw. But it's just lovely to put all those doubters and those people who didn't really rate him, to shut them up, because he's been brilliant. I mean, what he's done so far this season has been fantastic. In the last couple of games, he's just been sublime. I mean, 2 times yesterday he did things that, if it had been an Ozil or it had been a KDB or it had been it had been someone from, as I tweeted, Brazil or Portugal or Spain or Germany or Italy, everybody would have just got off their nut in some kind of, collective orgasm. But because it was Martin Odegaard, from a quiet little kid from Norway, it's like, not so much buzz about it, apart from us Arsenal fans and some of the real, football enthusiasts as well who have seen it. But that pass to Martinelli yesterday for the 4th goal, the way he took that pass on the first touch and the way he angled that ball in, and he knew precisely where that ball was going to go for Martinelli to give him the time and space he needed to get past Lamptey, who's rapid. Lamptey is rapid, but Martinelli, thankfully, is even quicker. To actually, I mean, that pass, you could have laid on that pass 100 times, and he probably wouldn't have, maybe not been able to do it, out of 100 times. But he actually did it there and then, first touch.
Yeah,
and it was just incredible to see, and that together with that lovely little drag flip he did, in the box that unfortunately didn't work out with Martinelli.
Yeah,
he dragged it past Dunk. I think he dragged it from Dunk and in past Dunk into the path of Martinelli. That was also, I mean, if you'd have seen an Ozil or an Alexis or someone do that, everybody would have just melted in an orgasm. But no, because it's Martin Odegaard, it's like, But anyway, that guy's, I think he's finally now. If you can't see that he is an elite, top level footballer that is absolutely operating at a top level now in the Premier League, if you can't see that, then whoever you are, I'm sorry, you're either you've got an agenda against him, or you just don't really know football. It's as simple as that, really.
Yeah. I will always remember a couple of years ago when we first started talking about Odegaard and the possibility of him coming to Arsenal. And you had a little bit of inside knowledge before anyone else, Sam.
I heard he was, he was interested in Arsenal. That his camp. Let's put it that way. The people around him were interested in Arsenal, and I always felt he was a good fit. I always had that feeling. I could see with Arteta, with what he wanted to do with the number 10 role, based off of what Ozil had been doing. But Ozil was basically, let's put it this way, in my opinion, just as a very quick, simple way of putting it, Ødegaard is like an Ozil, but with work rate and press and a bit more, bit more tackling ability as well. Because you've got to remember, Martin Ødegaard is really good at tackling the ball as well.
Yes.
He breaks up a lot of play. He's got really good defensive statistics as well, which is quite unique for someone who's as good creatively as he is as well. So, he's got that side as well. But basically, he's an Ozil with work rate and some defensive ability. So he's a much more complete player than what Ozil was. Yeah. And I could just see that coming. And I was like, I would just love him, Arsenal, because he would just suit the way we play so well. And yeah, I was lucky to get in early there and predict that. And obviously, you could see that Arteta and Edu saw the same thing and wanted the same thing. And we to think we got this kid for £30 million. I think Real Madrid are a bit like, what did we do? What did we do? What did we do again?
Yeah, he's worth 60 million now. So
yeah,
it's Ancelotti. The thing. Just to finish off. Sorry, just to finish off. I haven't been on the show for a while, so I'll take a bit. But basically, the way it went was Ancelotti, in a first meeting with him when Ancelotti took over from Zidane. Ancelotti said to Ødegaard, "I like you. I think you got a lot of potential. I want you in the squad. I'm going to be giving you some minutes." So Ødegaard was happy to stay. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but I think they've got in maybe a player. I can't remember what happened now, but I just remember Ancelotti changed his mind. He said this later in an interview with Norwegian television, that Ancelotti changed his mind after a few weeks. Yeah, and said, "Listen, Martin, you're a great talent, all this, but I'm not sure I can give you the playing time you want, and you're going to be in the squad. Of course, we want you in the first team squad, but we're not sure we can give you the minutes you want." And that's when he changed his mind, and that's when Arsenal came in.
Yeah, as Tom said, he's not sure Real Madrid are worried about that now. They've gone on and won Champions League, but there is such thing as having an embarrassment of risk.
I do think Real Madrid. I don't think they saw what was coming from Ødegaard that other people saw.
Yeah. Gary, Ødegaard possibly was the turning of the tide for Arsenal. If you look back and in hindsight, we've been doing Willian deals, we've been doing Pepe deals, we've been doing all that kind of stuff, bringing in David Luiz. Maybe Ødegaard was the signal to a change in strategy, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, none of us, except for Sam, anyways, in my circle, knew of Ødegaard and what he could possess and bring to the squad, right? So, yeah, it's good to see, and I think he's learning a lot more about the Premier League because his first 12 months probably with the squad, you can see he's still trying to pick up how to play in the Premier League, which is what young players outside of England figure out. And it takes him some time. Took him some time, but he's there now. And as I said, going into this match, I think Sam was with me. The last time we played Brighton and this time we played Brighton, totally different situation. I think the day was similar in terms of it had been raining and all of that, but you wouldn't know that you would have seen the difference in the way that we played in that midfield with him there. We pretty much managed it. We handled that midfield. He was part of that, along with Jacques and Partey. They all were contributed, but he, for me, as I said to Sam last time, it was like I thought Emil Sofro had to help him today, and he didn't need any help. It was all him today. Really good to see. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. He's one of our like you say, like young talents performing every week, and we just need to see that can be consistent and consistently see that. Let's just say that we're seeing it consistently, but we just need to continue to see it, and that we'll continue to benefit from it. And as I said on the show, on the watch along when I was watching it, as soon as he took that ball first time, I was like, that's what I want him to do that consistently when he has the opportunity, because I feel like he knows. I mean, every time he takes a shot, I'm like, all right, can we do that again when you have the opportunity? This one didn't even think about it. Boom, took it. Nobody had a chance to even think about stopping that shot when it came off, and he placed it pretty. He picked the right spot, scored, and the more he does that, I think the more and more it will open up things for him, and I guess we'll see his assist raise as well.
Raise it. Yeah.
I mean that long pass, we've seen that long pass before, and I can't remember if it was Partey or if it was Luis making that long pass to a sprinting Martinelli a year or two ago, and so it's always there.
Done it a couple of times.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
On Ramsdale. Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe it's Ramsdale, but it was just like you see that, and now we're seeing it multiple times now. We catch them once in a while, and boom, we're gone. So now I'm enjoying watching Erdegaard continue what he's doing, and it's good to see. And as I said, I think we needed to wait as a fan base, but we didn't want to.
But I listen. Just 1 second. I want to welcome Ben Echo-Marks here to the podcast. We'll be doing it. We do this Sundays. We do this Thursday nights, really late, depending on what country you're coming from. Let us know, Ben. But really appreciate you subscribing, finding a new channel. We are a small channel, but we know everything about Arsenal, and by extension, you'll find some of us doing their things as well. Gary is doing his own thing as well. He's got his own channel as well. So go check that out, Ben. Welcome to the channel. I'm sure everyone here will make you feel welcome. And keep coming back, show after show after show. I felt, Gary, that the rebuild was necessary, and we're all anxious to have it happen quicker. But I feel stripping the house down to the bare boards and rebuilding it back up was something.
Do I get to talk now, Ray?
Yeah, I'm going to go to you. You can
see. You know what? That's why you're supposed to take your opportunity when it comes. First. Don't waste a trip, Tony. The man opened the door for you, and Tony, you said no, I don't, and you shut it in his face. And then guess what?
Tony, you've got 180 seconds. You've got 180 seconds or 3 minutes to fill. Go, Tony.
3 minutes to fill. Well, Thursday I missed you guys because I had strep throat. Really tired. I didn't know why I wasn't feeling good, why I was dead tired. But missed everybody in the chat. Missed you guys. It's always nice to come here, escape from reality. And hopefully for me, this year I don't get to spend as much time at doctors, but I know I probably will. Logged in another over 200 grand in medical bills last year.
You're spending more than Arsenal right now.
Yeah.
There's all the money that Arsenal should be spending is being diverted to the Tony Fund, Rebuild Tony Fund.
Nice.
A $6 million Tony.
$6 million Tony. So yeah, Tony is fighting his inner Tony. Not to interrupt Gary.
I was about ready to.
My only issue with Erdegaard yesterday was the form on his jump shot celebration. Reminded me of Gary and his 30 years and older basketball record.
Hey, my form is great. The form looks good. The result is a problem, whether or not it goes in the basket. But the form looks good.
Did you hear about Gary's injury? How it happened?
Yeah, he got injured. What was it? In the car?
He got injured getting out of a plane.
Got injured getting out of a plane. I mean, that's like some kind of what should I say? That's like some kind of Cristiano Ronaldo shit right there, isn't it?
That's called getting old and body.
I don't get hurt that easy.
Yeah.
All right, welcome, Alex. Good afternoon and happy New Year to you as well. And all of us Gooners are happy. Tottenham lost. Chelsea. I actually wanted Chelsea to pick up some points so they'd feel a little bit more confident going into that City game. Sam, what are your thoughts on City and what they're doing over there? You know, they're supposed to be our rivals, hunting us down.
You know what? I think it's what's going on with City is I think they've just got this little bit now of the same as what's happened with Liverpool, whereas you just can't. It's impossible to keep a level going at tip top 110% season after season after season. It's just not possible. You're going to have some kind of degradation from players, form dips. There's going to be some kind of change in what happens. It's inevitable. And I think what's happened this season is City, despite the squad they have, the players they have, they've just got some players who are not firing on all cylinders. Apart from, of course, the machine they've got up front, who's giving them all their goals or most of their goals at the moment. He's incredible. But
why don't you talk him into joining us, Sam?
He tried.
Some of the other players are just not quite doing it. They're not quite 100%.
Yeah.
And when you add that to, I think they've also got a little bit of I think their confidence has been a bit knocked in some of these games. You can see their defense; they can be got out at their defense. They're not quite as solid as they used to be defensively. So you combine that with what's going on. They're just not that 110% firing on all cylinders machine that they've been in recent seasons, and that's just inevitable. They brought in their goal scoring machine that they needed. But at the same time, it's like some of the other components are a little bit off. It's not all clicking together. All the cogs are not there. Whereas for us, the cogs we've been building now the last two or three seasons, they just all come together now. That's it. The cogs are all there, and we're firing on all cylinders. So it's even the main difference. And even Pep as the elite coach he is, these players. Sometimes they're just not gonna do the job, and you got to give Everton some credit as well. I mean, Everton really, really played their guts out to get that point. It's just good for us that happens.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Tom said Everton 1 shot, 1 goal. Manchester Blue. He just got far franked. Okay. What a strike by Damari Gray there. And
that was a great goal.
Do we think that City have altered their play a little bit? Are they focused too much on Haaland?
It seems like they're. I think what's happened is I'm not 100% sure if it's actually tactical from Pep's side in the way they're setting up their play, whether that's actually what's happening or whether it's more like a natural progression. Because I just think when you've got a player like that now with Haaland, where you just know that if you get the ball to him, he's going to score. He's going to give you a goal. So I think he's become this big focal point of their attack. And that changes the dynamics because before, you didn't really have a focal point, remember? You had a false 9, you had a Jesus who was dropping in and out. They had that. They could score. Their goals were coming from everywhere. But now you've got basically 90% of the goals coming from Haaland. It's like everything has to go through him now. It's like I call it the Cristiano Ronaldo effect, where it's when everything has to go through one player and everything has to go into one, basically one, one person to like finish the ball. You limit your options. You limit yourself, and I think that maybe that's what's happening with them.
Definitely, Gary. My belief is, and I'm sure it's yours as well, and we want to do this, is the only way to beat City is to lead from the front. Get out into a lead. It's a marathon, right? It's not a race. And you have to lead from the front. If they catch us, it's very unlikely we're going to win the league. But we got to keep this gap and maybe extend it. Put pressure on them from behind.
No roller coaster, right, Ray?
No roller coaster. Just slow and steady. Feed your energy into extending that lead a little bit at times, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, what is surprising because I always thought it was going to be that Haaland would be more of an injury issue than basically that City as a squad would actually not look as threatening and potent on the offensive side, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at, right? I mean, Haaland scores, but then where do they get their goals from elsewhere? They don't have that answer right now consistently. They can't find it. Where in the past it was always there. So as you said, maybe they are too kind of narrow-sighted in the fact that when he doesn't get shots, then they're in trouble. But I mean, you think about it, they've Zinchenko and Sterling and Jesus have all left. I mean, that's a lot of attacking and goal scoring and assist making players there that you just taken off. And yes, they replaced them, but not not with Premier League ready players that are going to give them those numbers right now. Harlan is as you say, a robot. So his scoring is not a surprise for anyone. But yeah, no, I think where we are right now, we just got to play consistently, and that's what we're doing. City isn't playing the way I don't believe they're playing the way Pep wants them to play right now, and that's probably more of the issue. And I always say performance is better than result. If we continue to perform the way we have been, the results will always be in our favor, right? We know with City they're going to give you opportunities to score, you not too many, so you got to take them when they come, right? So, and teams have been able to take advantage, make the shot, and then be able to hold on. As City kind of struggles to find that next goal, they've showed it early in the season, right? I think against Newcastle they showed that they could come back and score, but not late, not of late.
Yeah.
Sam needs to teach Gary how to pronounce. How do I say Harland?
Holland. Like Holland.
Think like Holland.
Let the man speak. I say what? Like Holland?
Think like you're saying Holland. Think like you're saying Holland, basically, but with a
Holland.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So like, there's a W in there, right? Or
is it like maybe what someone from New York would say? Holland.
Hold on. All right. I'm trying to say. As people know, I am terrible with names. So
I tell you what, Gary, you've been good with Erdegaard.
I say, you know what? When I say Erdegaard, everybody's like, no, it's Erdegaard, and I'm like, dude, I know. Sam told me how to say it. Leave me alone.
I've come to the realization.
You tell him, Gary. You tell him.
I've come to the realization. Everybody has their own opinion on Arsenal. Everybody can pronounce the name the way they want to.
No, that's cool. No, but like you said, I think where we are right now is where you know what? The performances are consistent, and that's the key thing for us, right?
Yes.
Right.
We can call him Teabag if we want to as well.
No, we don't. That's the one guy. You call the man by his name. No, that's not his name. His name is not whatever you just said. So stop
One thing is certain: Sam is the authority on football. When
big up Tom. Tom's got to be deputized. I appreciate that, Tom. Tom knows his stuff.
What an honor, Sam! What an honor!
It's an honor. It is. It is an honor. Being deputized by Tom that is an honor. I'm nearly on tears here with that. That is very close to tears here.
They funneled everything to one player. Sam needs to teach Gary, but done. That's done. Check that off the list. Happy New Year, Stefan BX Gunner. In a way, he has disjointed the team, even though he's been fantastic. Correct. I think that's quite true. The Assembled asked a question. I think I've mused over this as well. Are they focused on that Champions League? I think they could be. City. Did they buy Holland for that?
That's a big thing they want, isn't it? The Champions League. I think that's Pep's big last target, isn't it? He wants a Champions League, and then he's probably out of there quicker than a rat through a drain pipe.
Where does he go after this?
I mean,
they're not winning Champions League if they're not like really seriously challenging for the top spot in the Premier League, in my eyes. Because
Gary, you know what, Gary? I agree with what you're saying there, and I can definitely see 100% where you're coming from, and I actually do, sort of agree with what you're saying. But you look back through Champions League history, many teams have won the Champions League, not being at the top.
Chelsea. It's a cup competition, essentially. It's a premium.
Liverpool won it. They didn't even get top four.
Yeah.
That's a kick out some low qualified team to get him in the next season.
Pep should have subbed Foden on earlier. Grealish isn't playing the standard.
You know what? That's the other thing I don't get is what is Foden? I thought would be, a regular starter for them. I don't understand. Either you bring him in earlier or the man starts, because I don't know what has Grealish done that deserves to get this team turned in the right direction. Not much for me right now.
We're in a situation at Arsenal. We're going to talk about Arsenal yesterday. In a situation where you have to use your squad. City squad is much better than ours, we would say on paper, right? Ours, we know what happens when we start substituting a few players. The strength of the team gets weaker and weaker, and we were holding on, very marginally holding on. I was a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie. We getting that back to 4-3, possibly lucky it was offside, and VAR helped us out there. But Zinchenko's celebrations last night, what a guy! This is a player who's been at City, but I think he's found his home. Do we believe that? Yeah.
It certainly looks like it, doesn't it? It certainly looks like he's very, very comfortable at Arsenal. I think they feel more. I know this is so cliche and all that, but it does seem like they do. Yeah, like you say, they feel like a family at Arsenal now, don't they? These players, they're all together. They're all friends. They all help each other. I think that atmosphere there, you can really see it with Zinchenko, and Zinchenko really seems to be embracing it. He really seems to love it, doesn't he? So that's
why he painted the Emirates hat his house in his little training room he has.
Exactly. Yeah.
What did he do? He's painted his house. What did he do, Tony?
He's got his.
Basically him standing on Emirates, but his whole training room's the Emirates.
Yeah. His training room at his house is painted like as him standing in front of the Emirates type of thing. It's really good.
Yeah. So it does feel like more of a family feel. It does look like the whole team is rowing in the same direction as well, Tony.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it's going to be fight time soon because you think it's the players and coming in, the subs coming in. I don't think Tomiyasu.
Wait, me and you, Gary?
Yeah. I read your little War and Peace on the show.
Go, hit me up.
And
I want to know how long it took Gary or Ray to write that.
About 25, 30 minutes during the Spurs game. I was happy while I was Spurs. While I was typing that out,
you're just
Spurs
happy
went a goal down. Spurs went a goal down. So that's not going to make.
I was like, fucking hell, fucking Stephen King's hack Ray's account.
I'm superstitious.
He's gonna start putting chapters in. It's gonna be like chapter 1, 2. It's like.
Say Melvin's asking when you look at our bench yesterday, how did you truly feel? Yeah, I'm nervous about our bench, Melvin. That's why we need to go out and get a.
Well, I wasn't nervous because I said, all right, well, you got Tierney and you got Tomiyasu, which means if Tomiyasu's there, that means he's healthy. I don't think Tomiyasu was healthy yesterday. I don't believe we needed the subs we made. I didn't understand them in general, like for what we were trying to do in the game.
It's not about the game.
Well, no, you basically cut your defense in half and expected to continue to hold on to a team.
I think what happened yesterday, Gary, I agree with you completely. There were strange decisions when you look at them, but what I think the logic behind it was we were 2 goals up.
Yeah.
And I think he just said, right, I think he's managing the minutes of Zinchenko because he doesn't want to get him injured again too quickly. Mm-hmm. He's managing the minutes of Zinchenko, and he wants to make sure Tomiyasu is getting a few minutes as well. Ben White also gets a bit of a rest. So I think it was more a fact of it was less tactical and more managing minutes. I think that's what we saw yesterday.
But I don't believe Tomiyasu should have played yesterday based on what I saw.
I can agree.
Yeah, but Gary,
sorry.
Let me. We complained in spring when we brought players in and they weren't ready to play for those 3 games we lost against Crystal Palace, at home to Brighton, and away to Southampton. We went to those players and they hadn't been playing. We've got a busy period coming up, and you've got to put some minutes in the legs of the squad as well as the first teamers. You got to also save the first teamers for a Newcastle game coming up in 2 days.
Well, here's my thing. Now the mental frailty of the team could have been shown in that last 20, 30 minutes of the match. The way that went, right? Like you said, in the 90th minute, they could have been a 1-goal lead at that point. And you're like, the world's going on. We couldn't stop them for like 20 minutes. They basically had the ball for like what seemed like 90% of the time, right? Yeah. So the way that ended, is that going to help you going into a big game like Newcastle? Newcastle just lost, right? Or Newcastle,
we won the game. The ship rolls on. We've got confidence going into Newcastle.
The last 20 minutes is what you remember. You remember just as much as the fact that you did win.
Yeah, but we're not going to start the Newcastle game with those players. As
a team, I'm just saying that's what it looked. You bring that in, and like you didn't sub off all the players, so Gabriel and Saliba did finish that. I don't know if they both got. I don't think either of them got subbed out, right? And Saliba looked really hesitant in that last 30 minutes. Like I've
Yep.
got four yellows and I don't want to do anything, right? That's what
Yep.
he looked like. And guess what? That's not going to change until the 18th game of the season, right? He's going to have four.
It's an 18
He's either got to play his
Yeah.
game or not. Because if he doesn't play
Well,
his game, it looks like what it looked like yesterday at the end of that match, and that's not good.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Because we're
for
not
me,
playing.
okay, for me, that's on the players, right? If you're a player and you want a position in the squad, you want to play, you want to be picked every game in the first team. If I'm Tomiyasu, I'm coming in and trying to unseat.
I
Ben
don't think he
White.
was healthy. It had nothing to do with the fact that he played poorly. I don't think he was healthy enough to give you what you wanted. That's
well,
different than like
healthy
coming in
enough
and having
to
a
win.
bad day.
How do you know that for sure?
The man was getting beat every time. They picked on him all day. And guess what
Maybe
he's
he's
done
not
for
as
us?
good as Ben White.
Nah. You were gonna say you think okay, so here we go. Maybe there's different levels, but the way that they
I
attacked
disagree. Is a
they
bad
attacked the
substitution
right
to
side
get
of our
over with it.
defense, you're saying that's because our levels are that bad?
Yeah, it seems like the
You
drop
think
off from
you-
Ben White to Tomiyasu doesn't look
Yeah.
good.
And Tomiyasu wasn't good for us last year.
He was
Hasn't
good
been,
for
and
us.
hasn't been good for us this year before he got injured.
He was good for us last
He's
year.
been
but you
injured
can't
the
deny
whole season, Gary.
Ben White has been transformational in the way we
Yeah.
play, playing the right back.
As I said, he didn't have support from a Saliba who actually was going to play as well. So
I believe
that whole side of the pitch, basically, they just continued to attack.
Saliba needs games. He's been rusty coming back from that World Cup. He hasn't played. He played one game, I think, in the World Cup. So he's been sitting.
Yeah.
He played
on
a
the
whole
bench.
23 minutes, Ray.
And you've seen the mistake he made, the hesitancy in the West Ham game, and he completely miscontrolled that ball for the Brighton goal as well.
Yeah, Ferguson, for that young kid, Ferguson absolutely got the better of him, and that wasn't good. That really wasn't good.
So I think, Sam, these are things that Saliba needs to work through. Maybe the rest, some parts of the squad.
I think he's a bit rusty. I think because he didn't play the World Cup. I think his head might also be a bit in the contract talks as well. He might be a bit distracted with everything that's going on with the contract talks and everything. But yeah, he's got to play though, because he's just too influential. We can't not play him. He just needs to play, and hopefully he'll get through those blips, because he's got to remember he's young. He's going to have a game here and there, or 2 or 3 games here and there where he's not going to be 100%. But he's been incredible the whole season so far.
Yeah.
I think what we're seeing as well is the meshing of players who have been playing in the World Cup and playing regular competitive games to a squad that has not been playing those games regularly. And it's going to take a few games, and we're seeing that work its way through now with the West Ham and this game as well. Yeah. We don't like it. I want those players to come on and not make it look like it's different.
No, but what I'm saying is, for 70 minutes, that's not the way we were playing in the middle of the pitch but all of a sudden in the last 30 minutes we were, right? So that's not, so that for me is the issue there, is that for some reason we can't, as I said when we started making subs, we can't play in 4th gear. We can't. Every time we take our foot off the gas just a little bit, we basically just release all of it's like a little dam. It just explodes and we can't play anymore, right?
Yeah.
I mean, outside of that long pass from Erdogan, and at the end of there was not much on the attacking side in that last 20-30 minutes.
Yeah,
where we felt like we were going to be able to at least take some pressure off of our defense.
How much of that was giving them nearly 70% of the possession?
Yeah. Well, you can't control the middle if you take out Erdogan and Partey.
And the thing is that that's what the players said after the game as well. When the players, they did feel that they lost a little bit of control of the game in the second half. They felt like that they lacked a little bit of what they needed. And you got to remember, it must be hard when you're 3-0 up. It must be hard to keep that 110% intensity going, because you just know, basically within yourself that you don't need to give 110%, and it just naturally you sort of drop off a little bit. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's they should do that. I'm just saying that's sort of something that naturally, sort of intrinsically happens, isn't it? With players psychologically, they are going to, and physically they're going to switch off a little bit when you're 3-0 up. And I think that's what happened to me yesterday. We're like, okay, let's take the foot off a little bit, relax a little bit, and then we unfortunately Brighton are that good. They wanted back in the game, and they did. They gave us a good second half there.
Yeah. I want to say we have a collection of players in our squad. They're all still human beings. They're supposed to play a collective game and play really well together within the 11 that's on the field. But individually, they're going to make some mistakes. Saliba made a mistake, and I don't know who we'd apportion blame to on the first goal as well. But these players are going to make mistakes, but we have to focus on the 4 goals, the 4 quality moments that we had as well, and that'll enable us to beat a team that's. We've all said it's not easy to play Brighton, and we've had some difficulties with Brighton.
Brighton are a very good team. You got to remember what we actually did yesterday. Again, we're really nitpicking here at the, we're really getting into the very
minute
details of critique here. But when you look at it, I mean, Brighton have been a very good team since their new manager took over, and they're a real tough team to beat. They've got some good results. They've got players playing really well. And to actually go there to their ground and score 4 goals, and win 4-2, when we've got the pressure on us, when we know we need to get points again, the other teams have dropped points. Again, it's a very, very good result and a very good performance. And this is what we need to focus on and remember, that at the end of the day, we've still done a very good job. And so far this season, we are looking very good. We're so much better at controlling games and managing to hold off the other team. In the second half, that's where we really struggled last season, the season before. So yeah, I mean, it's looking very good at the moment. We just need to make sure we keep it up. That's what we need to do.
We need to tighten up a little bit as well.
Just take each game at a time. Each game as its own cup final type of thing, and just keep going.
I think there are some players who are in that mindset, taking it 1 game at a time. If they zoom out and look at the table, I mean, they're naturally are going to look at the table. But if it gets in your psyche that we're 7 points ahead, we really could do this. I don't want to start talking about we've got one hand on the trophy with 22 games to go. There's a long way to go in this as well. Melville said, for me, we didn't have a game-changing attacker on the bench. I think that's part of the reason why we're going to go and get a Mudryk, or try to get Mudryk. Not that he's going to come into the first team, but he's going to be there with 20 minutes to go in a game.
Do we need to spend 85 million on a winger, right?
We haven't. Think about it. We spent like 7 million on Martinelli, and Saka is like a homegrown.
It doesn't matter. You got Saka, you got Martinelli.
You think that's enough?
Teabag, you got Smith Rowe.
There's no teabag on this squad, so stop it.
Tony, do you think we have enough in the squad that we don't need to spend that money on an attacking player?
We need a striker. We don't need a winger.
What striker? Everybody
it
keeps saying it does matter. What striker? There is no striker available. Every team out there is looking for a striker. All of them, because they don't have any. Who's got a striker outside of Holland?
We need a striker.
Who's got a strike outside of Holland? There's many more teams without than with, right?
You're not going to get anywhere with this conversation.
Going to go down to the local fucking Costco and just get a striker. Fucking
Gary, you do know.
You know what? We need to improve our depth no matter what we do. And like Melvin said on there,
why can't we go get Tony?
You look on because the man will be in jail soon, Tony.
Yeah. Look on the bench. We didn't really have anything that could impact the game outside of
been scoring, Gary.
The problem is, like I said before, the big names, they're not going to move anywhere. They're very, very expensive, very difficult to get in January.
But do we need a big name?
Maybe we get someone on a loan who's not, maybe not playing enough games or whatever. But it's very difficult to get in the type of player we need. People forget this again. This whole FIFA football manager thing. You just go and get a player and click on his name and you bid and that's it. It's fine. We'll go get him. It's there's so many factors involved here. Halfway through a season, very difficult to get a big name striker in or a top level striker in. But also I want to be a bit of a devil's advocate here, and that is, I'm gonna include myself here. I've been very critical of Nketiah, and thinking, I was really worried when Jesus got injured. I was thinking, Jesus, I'm sorry about the pun, but Jesus, what are we going to do? Jesus, what are we going to do? We're struggle now. But you look at what's happened since Jesus got injured. The other players have stepped up. We're getting more goals from Saka and Martinelli again. Odegaard keeps scoring. We're still getting the goals from the attacking players. The last 2 games, all our attacking players have scored goals again.
Yes.
And you know what? I was going to say the devil's advocate part of this. Nketiah is scoring as well.
2 and 2.
Well, it's like, what does the poor kid need to do? Yes, he misses some chances. Yes, he has some poor decisions. But what is he also doing? He's getting into good positions. He's still good at pressing at the front, and he's scoring goals. And what he got yesterday, he got a poacher's goal. I don't mind a poacher's goal. Someone who
that's all he gets.
The way he if you look, the thing is, right, he made that goal look really easy yesterday. But if you look at the play and what happened, he sniffed that out. He saw it coming. He moved when the ball was coming in. He started moving, and he anticipated if that ball comes back from the goalkeeper, he's going to be there in front of the defender. That is what a real poacher does, and that is something you don't see from all forwards, unfortunately. And he did that, and he got in front of the defender and he scored. He scored a poacher's goal against West Ham. He scored a nice goal from at the edge of the box, right? So the kid,
good goal.
The kid can score goals. No, he's not the finished article. Far from it. No, he's not world class. No, he's not fantastic. But the thing is, you can't deny he is scoring goals. He is playing quite well in our front line, and all our attacking players are scoring goals. So this whole, we're doing well at the moment without Jesus. This is something I think we need to realise and stop creating this huge horrible situation in our heads that at the moment is actually not real. It's not real at the moment. Yes, we're going to be in trouble if Nketiah gets injured. I agree. Then we're going to start to struggle with how we sort of put that front line together. But at the moment, things are working okay. Do I still want to go out and get a forward player if we can? Absolutely. I just don't think it's as easy as people think. I don't think it's easy to go out there.
Do we have a choice
level striker in January?
You gotta get a striker.
Go ahead, Tony.
I said, does it matter who it is really? Because we need a striker. We have.
You can't just get anyone, for fuck's sake, Tony. Come on.
Tony, you're the one that's talking about a striker, but the club is clearly not targeting a striker.
And you have no names. You have no names. You've been talking about strikers for weeks now, and I keep asking you who, and you have no answer.
Why
so
do we
give me an
names?
answer on a name because it matters. That's what we're talking about.
For us.
We're talking about how
do
I
we
say his name?
Do we need to know who Gabriel was?
Mudryk.
Do we need to know who Martinelli was? No.
If they knew, they would have got him already, Tony.
Yeah.
If you trust
But
the
how
way
are we going to go through multiple competitions? FA Cup starting. You got Europa starting back up.
7
you
games.
You don't have a
6
backup
games.
fucking striker. You got one striker. You need another one.
Yeah, listen.
You must be the only one that does.
World class.
Somebody did say I think it was Thunder Road.
Contract.
Yeah, somebody did say we are up shit creek. Thunder Road said, if Nketiah gets hurt, we are up the creek without a paddle. We're probably playing Martinelli through the middle, but I think we're maybe transitioning towards forwards, not necessarily strikers or wingers. We're talking about forwards, maybe. Maybe that's going to be the transition.
I think all the names that are out there are all question marks as to whether they can provide for us immediately, right? Mm-hmm. there aren't any. What forwards are we going to be able to bring in that we don't have to wait for them to get acclimated to the Premier League? Pretty much all the names that are out there, most of them are all coming in from outside the Premier League, and they're not going to be able to provide to us, and that's part of our issue right now. We can't just bring somebody like we bring a Mudryk in. He's going to get to play. We know he's going to get to play because he's sitting behind, as you said, a lot of young talent.
Yeah,
but we're behind Nketiah. Like I always said, Nketiah was our third striker coming into the season. He could solidify that second spot the way he's playing right now, but we needed to have three strikers anyways, right? So I just if the name was out there, I think Arteta and Eddie would have already picked him up.
There's players out there, Tony, but you need to identify. What we've seen in the last 2 years. We've seen
Chelsea for one right now.
What we're seeing right now, Tony, is the mistakes that we've made in the last 2 years by bringing in the wrong kinds of players.
Would help us.
Who?
Dusan
Vlahovic. No,
yeah, because he's shown he wants to come to Arsenal by basically showing no interest whatsoever.
He didn't want to pick up the phone. We're looking around the league right now, Sam, and we're seeing the mistakes that we've had the last 2-3 years. We're seeing other clubs doing we've been doing.
We can go and get a striker. It's not realistic in the January because you're going to have to pay so much for them.
Patrick
overpriced to get them to get the club to want to sell.
Well, they want 85 million for Mudryk. Why not spend that on a striker?
There is none. Come on, stop saying why not spend it on a striker who doesn't exist. It doesn't make any sense. So Arsenal said, you know what?
You're going to have to pay more than that for a striker. For a good striker, you're going to pay more than that, Tony. Mm-hmm. Seriously, in January, you're going to pay more than that. The way the transfer market is now with these ridiculous sums, you're going to have to pay a lot more than that for a good striker in the January transfer window because you have to pay a premium. You have to pay a premium to get the club to want to sell in January and lose a vital player. You've got to remember that club is unless that player actively wants to leave and come to Arsenal, say, basically what Mudryk's been doing for Arsenal. Unless that player actively wants to leave and say, nope, I want to leave publicly. I want to go play for Arsenal. I don't want to play for this club again. Fuck off. And, which doesn't happen now, right? Because 99% of professional footballers won't do that. You've got to pay that. The club wants a premium payment to have to offload one of their most important. They're going to be selling you one of their most important players and assets in the middle of a season. It's going to ruin the rest of their season. They have to bring in a replacement. There's that whole process as well. The club's not going to sell you their top striker without bringing in, without the whole process of bringing in someone who can replace them, which is also going to take time and be a problem. There's all these factors that people aren't thinking about. You can't just go out and get a top-level striker in January because the season is not, it's not set up that way. You get the main transfers really in the summer when the season's finished, when clubs have time to prepare and change things around and do stuff, right? So you go through some fucking tweet on the internet. So what? He's been rumored.
Yeah, but
everywhere.
You could say the same thing about
Vlahovic is going to cost over 100 million, and he's not. He doesn't want to come to Arsenal.
But Tony,
there's a newsflash for you.
Let's not forget as well, Tony. There's lots of journalists out there that need to create copy. There's journalists out there are digging up and turning up.
The same thing applies to Mudryk. 85 million.
The only thing
Tony, you believe any old shit. You believe any old shit that's written on the internet. You believe it.
They want 85 million for
clickbait, Tony. Tony, clickbait. Now, don't do it, Tony. You got to sift through these things.
We need to pay 85 million for a fucking winger.
That may well be it. Now, listen. Here's the thing. We have over the last 5, 6, 7 transfers.
Answer my question, Ray.
I mean, I am.
We paid 85 million.
We paid 5 to 10 million under most.
Answer my question, Ray.
I'm going to mute you so I can answer your question. I will answer your question if you let me. We've underpaid for a lot of players. Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko. We've gotten some good deals. Erdegaard, that was a snip price. So I think we can afford to pay a little bit over the odds. We were trying to get Rafinha in the summer for that kind of money. What I don't want to do is break our transfer record, because then the media is going to spin Mudryk, Arsenal's record transfer is struggling to settle in. That narrative might cloud what we're trying to do for the next 4 or 5 months here.
And also, what Tony doesn't get is those fees. They're all just rumored fees. There's no one. You're not going to call up Chelsea. Oh, sorry, Juventus. Oh, is this Juventus? Oh, hello, Vlahovic. Yeah. What 85 million? Is that what you're saying? Oh,
Probably what?
85 million. Are you sure? Okay.
Give me the specifics. No, it's not going to happen.
You're not going to call up Juventus and they're going to give you those numbers as a fucking journalist, and no one on the inside is going to be leaking those numbers. It's all just rumors.
Samuel said, everyone's forgetting we are beating who we should be more consistently.
And Vlahovic doesn't want to come to Arsenal. He's already said it before.
Yeah.
He didn't want to come to Arsenal. He doesn't want to come to Arsenal.
Don't let Tony trigger you, Sam. Don't let Tony.
I'm not letting him trigger. I'm just trying to tell Tony that he needs to stop looking at tweets, thinking the tweet is an actual fucking gospel.
Applies to Mudryk.
The other thing you have
to
Mudryk is a very talented player who wants to come to Arsenal.
If you're going to look at those tweets, you have to discern what the grain of truth in there is, Tony. And
we still don't know what the actual fee is, because guess what? It's not going to be a properly disclosed fee. We're not going to get the fee until it comes out properly in the wash later on with the financial records and stuff.
And they're negotiating right now. The only thing I would say, Samuel, we are beating who we should beat, and we've beaten a couple of teams that we maybe shouldn't have beaten this season, because we're better this season and they're not. Liverpool, Tottenham, we have big clashes coming up. Newcastle, that's going to be a tough one at the Emirates. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Gary, where else do you want to go with this? Anything else you want to bring?
I didn't know it was going to be us against Tony today. I thought
Tony's taking on the world, Gary.
Yeah, he is.
But listen, I do have to give props to Tony. He is a strong character. He is a good person, and we wish the best for you, Tony.
No, Tony's great. He knows his stats. He knows his stuff. He's just
a stubborn SOB.
He just believes a bit too much of what's on Twitter.
Yeah.
He is a stubborn SOB though as well, right, Tony? But we
love
you.
Still here.
Exactly. Yeah. Spurs away in a fortnight will be our acid test, given our record of their place in the last 10 years. 10 years since we've beaten them, Gary. This is a gilt-edged chance to beat that Tottenham team.
Well, and we know how they're going to play, right? They're going to play totally different than they've played all season, of course, right?
We got to be ready for
that's just how things go, right? And you know what? We cannot take the bait. So Holding, if you actually do have to play, and you know what that means, you know what that means if Holding has to play.
Yeah. Hopefully, Saliba's worked out his.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you know what? I want Saliba playing in mentally the way he should. If that requires a yellow sometimes, that comes with the territory, right? Yeah. If he's playing like on a a knife's edge or whatever, pins and needles or whatever it is, and he can't play correctly, then he can't be on the pitch. He's a liability. So let him play. And like I said, I think they will. I think one, if you looked at that team, they had both Kulusevski and who else and Bendencourt on the bench, right? Yeah. Watching that match, right?
Yeah.
So who knows when those guys will be ready? They'll probably be ready by Sunday, of course.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Seeing Conte on the sideline crying, and Mr. Bungle is saying he wants away from Sam. He's getting away from Sam.
Mr. Bungle, hope you're doing well, mate. Happy New Year.
No, is that what was going on? I was trying to figure out. You waving to me?
Mr. Bungle is a legend of these areas.
Waving to Mr. Bungle. Slap a like, people. We appreciate you being here. We're going to go for about another hour.
Shame KFC is open for you, but I'm sure you can go and find a cat you can fucking skin or something like that.
BX Gunner says Saliba doesn't get the criticism because he needs to resign, but he's given up pens, own goals, and cheap goals. I think it's a team effort, and you can't say that. You can't say that, and then get over and jump all over Gabriel, and that's what he's talking about. When Gabriel did some of the things he did, none of you guys, you Ray, it's fighting time, right? Gloves on, ding ding. No, I think he's getting, like you said, he's getting it because he's younger, and they do want him to sign, but he's worse today. But
that's also because it's his first year in the Premier League, so these things are going to come. But he needs to do better in that. And like I said, he's going to have those type of games, and I think that's what we saw towards the end of the half. So we're gonna have to just bite our lip when that happens, because it's just gonna happen. He's not gonna be perfect like he has, and he's gonna give away things like he has, and you've seen it. What young defender at his age is going to be at a Van Dijk level, right? It's not going to happen.
So we talked about this a little bit. We have two centre backs that are really good and they complement each other, but they're very different the way they play. Yeah. And I hope I'm not picking on Gabriel more than I am with Saliba, and I hope I'm not cutting Saliba a break.
You've been picking on Gabriel, right? You had a whole.
What I want from Gabriel is
about him.
This is the good and the bad. The things we want from Gabriel is to be, he plays with his heart. I think he jumps into tackles, but he also can get caught out that way. I like the way he plays, but he also has these issues where the ball can get put over his head.
Think about it. Saliba in form in the last two matches. One, he just clears the ball out when it pops up in the air instead of step away from it. And the other way, he controls the middle of the pitch. At the least, the offensive player doesn't even get anywhere near him. He bounces off of him, and either the ball rolls, he lets the ball roll past him, right? Or he controls the ball a little bit better because he's actually playing a little bit more aggressive in that part of the pitch, because he knows there's nobody behind him at that point. So it's him or the offensive player. And he kind of hesitated and took something off of that attack at that tackle, and paid for it dearly. So.
I think that's something that Saliba. Those are two goals that could have been avoided. Definitely, Saliba cuts out that West Ham ball before Bowen even gets to it, and Saliba clears that ball away from Ferguson. I think their first goal was a decent goal in a sense. We want to talk about the good stuff, right? But has anyone got any points about that last 15, 20 minutes to talk about? We were definitely shaking a little bit. That third goal went in. We thought it was the third goal. The judge should be offside. Arteta's telling the team, get a grip, try to concentrate, and see out the game. We've got 4 goals. It looked like we've conceded 3. Any other thoughts on that, Sam, Tony, Gary?
I think it was just a matter of us sort of taking a little foot off the pedal a little bit, and Brighton, of course, just giving their all and playing really well. You've got to give it to Brighton. The last second half, the last 30 minutes, they were really good. And also when we changed the team around a little bit, right? We did it to manage the minutes of Zinchenko and Ben White, but and all of a sudden we were brought on holding for Ødegaard. That constellation of players, was a bit of a strange constellation that we're used to. It was a unit of players that had not really played before, and you got them with their backs against the wall the last 10 minutes. It's going to be tough, with our regular team playing in their, basically in the way they're regularly playing. So, it was a tough. But again, it's another learning situation. So they would learn from that situation. And hopefully, we won't see that happen again. But it's overall, again, I think we're just nitpicking a bit here. I think overall, again, it's a great performance.
In a way, Sam, but we want to be in a position where we're going to win the league. We want to be in a position a year or two from now where we have a chance of winning the Champions League, and standards have to be driven up higher.
And like I said, I remember I said a long time ago, this is the game of football where you have 2 teams of 11 players in the Premier League. No matter who those 11 players are on each side, they're going to be good players, some better than others, but there's going to be good players. Each team are going to get chances. This is the way top-level football is played. No matter who you're playing, they're going to get chances. It's just a matter of trying to stop those chances as much as you can, saving them, and scoring more goals than the other team to win the game. But this whole mentality where we think everything can be perfect and we can stop a team from, even creating a chance, it's not reality, is it? The other team are going to create chances. It's just overall how we play and how we manage the game and how we control the game.
It may actually be a good thing in the long run, because Mikel Arteta can take them in today or tomorrow, whenever they're going to prepare for the Newcastle game, and say, look, we played really well. We scored 4 goals, but we weren't perfect in certain areas. And these are the things Right, Gary? There's always things you need to clean up on. You don't.
Yeah.
You want to always improve, right?
Yeah, you want to have a perfect game, but there's no such thing. So you always strive for perfection. It makes you better in general. I mean, we've said we've come out and played good house, bad house. Like I said, I think yesterday we played pretty much a good 70 plus minutes there, or 70 minutes probably, 60, 70 minutes between there and that, and we put the game away like we're supposed to. I didn't. I guess I said jail, but I guess that's football jail. I don't think
football jail. Yeah, he'll be
really
detained for questioning. Hendon Gunner said, "If we lose Partey, we will struggle. That's fact."
Yeah, that's the one. Partey is the key for me.
Yep.
Yeah. But once again, there is no good answer out there for a Partey backup, right? That doesn't. Either you're getting a player who's potentially going to be good in a year or two, or you're spending the same money, if not more, on a player like Partey to sit behind Partey, which makes no sense. So I think it's just all about.
Buddy, you can buy Yuri Tillemans. Ray still wants
That's not an answer for Partey, Tony. How many times are we going to do this?
Why not?
Because he
doesn't play.
It'd be no different than putting Xhaka there, right?
He's not going to be more a Xhaka role than a Partey role.
Exactly. Gary joined me backstage at the end of the Thursday night forum, and we went through a sort of a combined Manchester City Arsenal lineup. We kind of went 5 each. But the question mark was Foden or Martinelli. We probably would have landed on Foden. But I showed my nephew that combined 11, and he thinks Rodri is better than Partey. I just can't agree with that. You know,
Partey on his day, basically
much better than Rodri.
Our back line is like sitting there like, what do we do? Because he basically just
he's cleaning up, right?
That whole midfield just rolls around in there. Nah, like the way we scored that goal, right? It looked like they were going to attack us. Next thing you know, boom, boom. Partey puts a foot in there.
Yeah, the first goal.
Erdogan gets the ball, passes it up, bang, bang, score, right?
The first goal, the first goal within the first minute. Partey, gets the ball from Lamptey, just stops the ball from getting through to Lamptey, and that's it. The ball straight back into attack, and we score.
Yeah, let's get into the goals then. We'll let's linger a bit on that one, Sam, because Bukayo Saka, he's just realizing, he's just starting to score. Like the game is easy for him, right?
Well, I think he's improved his level a little bit now, where he's become more aware of what he's doing. He can take a bit more time on the ball. I think he's getting to that next level now, and that's where we want him to be. And I think hopefully now he can convert that into more goals. The way he took that goal yesterday was very good. There was 2 deflections. The way he controlled the ball and placed the ball past the goalkeeper was very good. We just need to see more of that. We need to see more goals. So far, so good. He's been scoring goals. So, just want him to continue now, and hopefully he can get up to that level of maybe 20 goals. Maybe we can get him up there. I don't know. Maybe it's asking a bit too much. Maybe 15 is a bit more.
I think
more his level. But if we can get him up to 20 goals, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. When Smith Rowe comes back, can we see him going on the wing and Martinelli put up top?
I think we can maybe see Martinelli given a bit more time, resting. Manage his minutes a bit more. Let Smith Rowe have a chance. But yeah, Martinelli's just been so influential this season in terms of what he does off the ball as well. I'm still a bit annoyed with Martinelli. He makes too many poor decisions with the final ball. He keeps passing it to God knows where and loses the ball when he shouldn't. When he's in a vital position.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, he's got assists, he's getting goals, and his work rate and what he does off the ball is phenomenal. So you can't really drop the guy either, can you? But when Smith Rowe's back, we want to be able to give Smith Rowe a chance as well, and then give Martinelli a chance to rest a little bit as well. I think is important, especially going towards the end of the season where we want to maybe try and win the Europa League as well. Get some minutes in.
Tony, these are it's 2. Tony, hold up one finger, Ray holding you hostage. Hold up 2 fingers if Gary's holding you hostage. It's Gary. We knew it.
Wait.
What? Put 2 fingers up.
What? Tony.
Put 2 fingers up. It's you, Gary. It's you. Gary, as we were mentioning, Bukayo Saka.
Yes.
It looks easy. because he's so good, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean we saw it in, like you said, every game he's getting better. So yeah, I mean we always said his goal production hopefully will improve based on what he's been doing, and it has. All right. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I was just looking at it right now. Our three youngsters, or I guess our starting four, and that's with Gabriel. They're all double figure goal creation. All right.
Yes.
And that's we knew that coming into the season that would be a good litmus test as to where we stand if those things happen and we're already there, and Jesus hasn't played in hasn't played in a month for
Yeah.
Arsenal. So
We're gonna
yeah, no. And so no, I think Saka, you know, by is he like the best English player you got right now?
I think
Right?
he's the best
Yeah,
young
you know what I mean. So
English player in the league.
like
How
I
many
mean,
goals did I have for Saka? Right? I forget.
I don't know. I can't. I don't have everything
It
just
was all players' numbers.
in the back of my head. I think you might have said 10 or 12. I don't know. You're gonna have to. You're responsible for your own numbers, Tony.
yeah.
Well, I remember everybody else. I know Martinelli was 14 because
No, I mean, I think we're probably destined to have. We could have like definitely double digits goals and assists for Martinelli and
Odegaard was
Saka.
12. I just don't remember what I went with Saka.
Speak a little bit about Saka. Now, we need to create a narrative. Not that the referees are going to listen to us, Arsenal podcasters. Saka doesn't get the protection, Tony, that he requires.
I didn't. Did I? I don't think I felt like that in this game. Like I have in other games where it was pretty clear that he was getting. They were leaving a little bit on.
As a rule, the referees tend to let some things go.
Yeah,
You know what I
then
mean?
at the end of last season, he started kind of diving when he get the contact. Then
Yeah,
he's been
Stephen
getting yellow
Gerrard.
cards for that.
About that.
They don't do a very good job protecting him.
BX said the only thing about Mudryk is that he seemed ready to showcase and ball out, but will he ultimately cut it? It's a huge gamble if he has a good 1.5 season on links to Barca, Madrid. I think BX he's not going to come in and start games for us from the jump. I think he's going to get 15, 20, 25 minutes for Martinelli and give Martinelli a little bit of a rest. That's my feeling on Mudryk. I think the players we're gonna go get, if it's 2 players or 3 players or whatever it is, they're there to sit on the bench and make our bench look stronger. Because somebody mentioned it didn't look good yesterday. We didn't have many attackers come on,
especially with the substitutions we made yesterday.
But for me, Bukayo Saka, he's just putting together a great season in terms of he's not missing those chances. Those chances are falling to him, and he's ready. He's got the touch, he's got the skill, he's got the control, and that's not easy to take that ball down and put it past the keeper.
He's definitely made up for a slow start.
Yeah. We were worried. I think his first goal was Old Trafford, right?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, as much as it looked like a slow start, it was the way that teams were playing him. And now who do they pick on now?
They're double teaming him, yeah.
Right. He's getting a little bit more space now.
Yeah.
And we're getting scoring from everywhere now. So
when you have other players helping, Gary, when you have Nketiah or Jesus or Odegaard, Martinelli, you have to devote a little bit more attention.
Yeah. I mean, if you look, I think this is a kind of a front line that you would see at the City back in the day, where you've got all three guys across the front line, all contributing double figure scoring, scoring, goal creation stats, right? And that's where we are right now. They all have 10, right? Or at least 10, if not. Nketiah's, or is it Saka's got 12, Martin Odegaard's got 12, and Martinelli he's at 9 right now, right? Yeah. So what are you doing? What are you doing?
Hendon Gunner, sorry, Gary, go ahead.
No.
Hendon Gunner said, "Don't be surprised if Spurs have a new manager by then." I don't think Conte's long for these shores. Let's say they play at Selhurst Park, Tony, next on Thursday. Pressure and anger is mounting from the Spurs fans, and leading
Selhurst Park.
They'll play an FA Cup game where they probably will win, but then it comes to North London derby time, and they'll be probably going into that game not very good shape, and usually in decent shape. Arsenal fan circle lamenting their reputation as a drama. channel.
What?
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Drama. No. He's trying. I don't think
I don't
that's.
know
I
why
don't think.
Stefan's been saying that lately.
I don't know what's going on with it. No, it's drama. No, we're talking football, right?
Yeah, exactly. Problem was is if Palace sell in January, should worry about being in a relegation battle.
He's like a zombie, and he just won't go away, really.
This is the thing as well, Sam. Especially Premier League teams, they're not going to want to lose their talent.
Look at Tom there. Look, what a lovely guy, Tom. What a lovely guy blowing smoke up my bum.
39 minutes, Sam. Erdegaard gets the goal.
I thought he was talking about the other Sam Greenwood.
I thought it was really. I thought we needed that goal going in. Obviously, we're 1-0 up, and getting 2 goals up was a big boost going into halftime.
No, I mean it was. We needed another goal, and we were playing well, and you could see something was happening. Something was coming, and yeah, I mean it was a corner again, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ben White. Ben White was driving down, and he won the corner. Ben White did.
Yeah,
so got to call that out.
Ben White's been phenomenal so far this season. By the way, especially the last 10 or so games, he's been absolutely fantastic. But that's a small digression. No, the Odegaard goal. He did. I don't think he struck it very well, but he struck it, in a way that obviously he wanted to hit the target.
Yes.
And he was a bit unlucky with the way he struck the ball, but it went where it needed to go. That's the thing, it went where it needed to go. It went in the net, and he got another goal. And he's at 7 goals and 4 assists already this season, which he was for the entire season last season. So
fantastic number.
Hopefully, we're not even halfway yet. Hopefully, he can get a lot more of that.
What were your thoughts, Sam, on the West Ham game where he clearly refused a couple of shots?
Yeah, that's the thing with Odegaard. He likes to play. He wants this whole beautiful football thing. I think he's got it in his head from his. He's got a lot of flair. He's got a lot of creativity in him. He wants to try and pass the ball where he can. I do think he likes to prefer to assist than to score. I really do think that.
Yeah.
So he's going to look for a pass where he can instead of shooting. But he is shooting more. I think that's clearly a direction he's got from Arteta this season to shoot more. When he's got sight of the goal, have a shot at goal. And I think he's doing that more. He is shooting more, even though sometimes he'll still pass the ball maybe a bit more than he should. But he's still shooting more and he's scoring more goals, right? That's what's happening. And like I said, he likes to be. He seems to be taking up this more like a Lampard role now, where he's always coming into the box at the right time and he's always open. That's what I really like to see with Odegaard. He finds a space.
Aaron Ramsey.
He's always open. If one of the guys, Martinelli or Saka can cut the ball back to him, he's always open. He'll score a lot more goals.
Yeah. Hey, Samuel said he's nominated me for the fence sitter trophy. The greatest fence sitter there ever was. I'll take it. As Rudy said, now Ray's got more trophies than Harry Kane. Harry Kane and Son are just rotting their careers away at White Hart Lane. Tony, I'll go to you next. Erdegaard. I think if you look at the Amazon, we've all seen the Amazon documentary, right? I think it was a scenario where the coaches brought Erdegaard in for a one-on-one and like, okay, look, you refused the shot here. And he's taking that on board and he's shooting more.
Yeah, but I think he's probably the most clinical up there with Smith Rowe. Every time he fires it in there, it seems to find its way in there. But to me, it's more about his passing yesterday, especially that through ball up there to Martinelli. That was just superb. But when you see him take loose goals right outside of a box, you mostly feel like they're going in or there's going to be a rebound and we're going to score from it because very accurate.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see from him.
I wish
we could see it from more of the players, that type of shooting, but he's got a great shot.
I always think, Gary, our team is playing well, that's flying, they tend to get a little bit of a rub of the green, right? And I think the ball, he's intending to get it on target, but the ball clearly hits the ground and loops up over everybody and into the net. These are the kind of goals you're going to get when you're playing well, I feel.
Yeah, but as Tony said, I mean, he's pretty clinical in his shot shooting in general. So
Yep.
a mishit for him is probably a regular hit for some of our other players when they're shooting, right? So he, like I said, I just want to shoot more when he has it, right? Shoot more when he has it, and and a lot of times it will open up to him because they are a little bit more concerned about what's going on the outside of the pitch, right? And if Nketiah is in the middle there, then they have to pay attention to him. So take the shot, right? Take the shot. And then at some point they will step towards him, and he'll make a nice pass as he always has, and he'll get even the assist will go up as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, there's not much to complain about except for I just want him to shoot more, right? There's nothing complaining about, but I think
we're just here to nitpick a little bit about the perfect. What could be the perfect performance we want to see? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but I mean that's just what we need from him. At some points in games, but when you get scoring from 4 players in back-to-back games, right? It makes it easy. It makes it easy for your team, and it harder for other teams to defend you. So, I mean, based on what we saw today from Newcastle, when they play us again, they're going to be the same front 5, 6 guys playing there. Are they going to have an answer for all of them?
Almost makes me think we're due a Granit Xhaka or Partey goal pretty soon, I think, because the forwards have been scoring. BX Gunner said transfer window's open. Every hour that passes now seems like time's wasting. Get someone in. Yeah, we all want that player in, but there's going to be a balance between negotiating the price and getting them here as soon as possible. I think it's not far away. I think Mudryk is probably. It may not be before Newcastle, but I don't think it's far away that we're going to.
It doesn't actually matter for Mudryk, anyways, because it's going to take time anyway. So, but it is.
Would you like to play him in the FA Cup, Gary? If we do get him,
I don't think
the best way to bud him in.
What? That's on Wednesday.
No, the FA Cup's on next Monday, the following Monday.
I don't think he'll be ready to play then. I don't think he'll be ready to play then.
Okay.
I mean, nah, I can't see it. That seems really, nah. You don't want to put him into that thing if That's why he is not at that level where you just bring him in and you play him immediately, right? We've seen that from other players. I guess, but also the recruiting for Arsenal has been pretty good, right? If they think a player is ready to play immediately, they will play him, right? As soon as Vieira was healthy, he played, right? Marquinhos was healthy and they didn't play him. They actually sent him down, right? So I think they know. That's why it's like we got to trust what they're doing because it's been consistently good the last couple of years, right?
All right, so this is a tough question, Sam. I'm going to go to you first. FA Cup. What do we do with the FA Cup? Do we value it?
Yes. Okay. I want to win the FA Cup.
Yeah. Okay. Even you want to juggle 3 competitions. It's possible to do that. It is possible.
I don't see why not. I mean, they don't. The games don't come very often. They're only one knockout game at a time. I think we should be able to compete there. It's a trophy. It's a big trophy. Yeah. I think we should be able to do that.
Gary, I kind of agree with Sam. I think if we get a couple players in, our squad's a little bit deeper. We should be able to juggle 3 competitions.
Yeah,
that's what we need to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want us to continue to play for everything we can.
Yeah.
Right. I don't like I don't mentally for me. I don't feel like players could just take days off, games off, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that because we keep talking about when we bring on the subs. I mean, you've even said it when you bring on the subs, they need to perform at a particular level, and then if you're not going to take the FA Cup seriously, and then you're going to be playing those players, then you're not going to get any players coming off the bench with the experience and the experience of playing in whatever Arteta's style is, right? So
I think it's a privilege. If you're on the squad of Arsenal, it's a privilege. If you're a player on the squad, you're good enough to play football. You're good enough to be part of one of the best teams in the country. Let's say. I don't think it's on the manager. If the manager gives you that opportunity to play and you don't perform well, that's individually on the player. That's my opinion. I've seen people blaming Arteta for maybe the timing of the substitutes, bringing both fullbacks off at the same time is an issue. Maybe we should have staggered those substitutions a little bit, but we took White and Sinchenko off at the same time, right? So that might have been difficult. Okay, we moved on to. Well, let's move on to the second half.
Now ask me.
Okay, go ahead. FA Cup, yes. I have to. I did it intentionally. I ignored you intentionally to see if you'd get a reaction.
You like doing that, don't you, Ray? Just
it's no fun if you're happy, Tony. It's no fun if you're happy.
Everyone else all podcasts.
Ray didn't miss me Thursday. Fuck off, Ray.
Tony loves it. I did. We were worried about you.
I was sick, laying around. But anyway, to me, it depends how many players we get in. But I probably want it. I would go more for Europa.
Yeah. Let's keep an interest in all three competitions as far as
I think it's hard to go for all three.
I don't mind mixing up the team a little bit in the FA Cup. Those players have to be kind of players who want to grab a first.
The problem is, Ray, in any of those, you end up with Rob Holding back at center back.
Yeah, listen, you may not like Rob Holding, but I don't think he has, apart from the North London derby last season, I don't think he's done too much wrong. But anyway.
I actually had the thought that maybe he would have played better than Saliba to close out that game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I kind of felt the way the game ended. So, and I think Saliba needed to, like when we were talking about it during the game, it's like, it's probably a good time to take off Saliba, right? He's got that yellow. We'll definitely want him in the next match. So we're up 3-0. Right? If you're up 3-0, you can probably be holding on, right? That should be okay, right?
Right.
If you can't bring him on when you're up 3-0, then you'll never bring him on, all right?
No. If you're enjoying the content, you're enjoying these three sage minds beside me here, slap a like. If you're new around here, subscribe. Assemble said front three scoring goals isn't going to make Arsenal buy the striker they need. Perfect excuse. We just have to pray this purple patch continues until the end of the season.
The thing is, this is again. I want to play devil's advocate here. What are you actually complaining about?
That we have enough scoring potential that the club will feel they don't have to buy players. I think the club wants to add.
Isn't what's happening now what we want? What is wrong with what is currently happening with our team?
Some of our fans fear that will create a narrative that the Cronkies might say, we're good. We don't need to do anything.
No, of course we're going to need to bring in. We can't just have a Jesus and an Nketiah, next season. That's not going to happen. They are going to address the situation definitely for the summer, but right now, when we've got Jesus out with injury, what exactly is going on that's not working? I mean,
everything's working.
They're scoring more goals. We're getting all the front line is scoring. What more do you want? I don't get it.
I think we worry when we're not playing well and we're not scoring goals, and then we worry when we are scoring goals and playing well because the club may feel they don't need to do anything. But Arteta
we had a legitimate worry because we've seen how well we've been playing with Jesus.
Yeah.
And when we lost him, through injury in the World Cup, we had a legitimate concern. Okay, what's going to happen now when we come back to the Premier League? And we played West Ham and we played Brighton. Both those games we've scored 7 goals, and the performance has been very good. Attacking.
What's the problem? No problem.
So right now there is, and Nketiah scored in both games, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what more does the kid need to do, and do we need to do as a team to prove that maybe it's not as bad as we think it is? We've created this issue that we rightfully, theoretically could have, But now we've actually seen that in practice, in real life, how it's actually panned out, and it's not as bad as we thought it was.
Not bad. We just asked Nketiah to get involved in the build-up play a little bit.
Brady has a question for you, Sam.
The rest will come. The goals will come. Question for you, Sam. How many points from our next 5 games? Is that what it is, Tony?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I know we played Newcastle. I'm not quite sure.
Newcastle, Spurs, United.
They're our next 3, yeah. Well, I feel confident against Newcastle at home. Spurs, we're playing away, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be maybe a point because you never know with them, and you never know what's
They'll
going on.
turn up. They will turn up. Yeah.
And with United, are we playing them at Old Trafford again?
No, at home.
Yeah, well, I think we can beat them at home. So
we need revenge. United have been tough and dogged and picking up goals. They've been getting clean sheets with Casemiro on the side, but I think they've only conceded.
Then you have Everton
6
and Brentford.
goals. With Casemiro on the side, they've only conceded 6 goals in 9 games. So Casemiro is doing something for them, and they are nicking goals here and there. So United are a dangerous outfit in terms of the top 4. They're too far behind us to impact us. Of course, they're going to impact us at the Emirates. We have to get past them. Question though, when Gabriel Jesus comes back, Gary, we could be in a situation where Nketiah scored 5 or 6 goals. And
we're going to do this again? Are we doing this again? We did this already. We've been down this road before. We have. We've been down this road before, Ray.
What's the road? Tell me. Describe the road for me, so I know.
Tavares is playing so well right now. If Tierney comes back healthy, do you think Tavares should have to sit?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
we have been down this road.
Jesus is our starting forward. Yeah, if he's healthy and he's ready to play, he plays. There's nothing that we've seen from him that says, you know what, Nketiah's got 30 goals. If he's competing with Haaland for top scorer in the league, I think you got a question to ask there, right? Whether or not we need to push him on the outside, Jesus, when you bring him back or not, right? Yeah. But I don't think we're expecting to see that. But if we do, we're going to take it for sure. But I think Jesus is starting up. Right now is our starting forward, and he's healthy. He comes back and he plays, right? It just makes it takes a little bit of pressure off Nketiah, anyways.
Yeah.
Right. Because now he's not. It's not on his shoulder once. Because say he hits 10, by February or something like that, right? Because he scored in each game, and if he scores every other game or something like that, he could be doing really well. But Jesus is our starting forward, and nothing has changed in my head unless he's not 100%. So easy one there.
Okay. Yeah. So listen, I said on Thursday, Eddie didn't have to score. He doesn't have to score every game because you're not going to score as a striker. You're probably not going to score every game, but he did chip in with that goal. And as Sam so eloquently said earlier, he was in position. He's got that striker's instinct to sniff out where that ball is going to be from that Martinelli shot. Martinelli has pace to burn on the outside, and he did that, getting the shot away. Tony, your thoughts on Eddie?
He's usually in the right place at the right time. Makes the movements you want. He just kind of lacks that final touch and shooting and passing and stuff. Maybe he'll develop it, but I don't think he will. We definitely need another striker. Don't like having just 2 strikers. Been an Arsenal fan for 26 years now. Never remember us just having 2 strikers.
Yeah. I'm trying to bring you around to the forwards, not wingers, not strikers. But who knows? The game changes every few years. BX, when the window shuts, we'll know the true extent of Jesus' injury. I have a feeling we might see him with a few weeks of the season left. I think we'll see him in March at some point. Wheels are coming down. We're going to be landing in about 15 minutes. Yes, Gakpo is a top signing indeed. and we're going to get to the Don Juan man in the match as well. But we have one final goal to shit. We talked about it a little bit, Sam. Erdegaard's this ball pretty much came from a chance that Brighton had in the 6 yard in our own 6 yard box. I think Partey and Xhaka cleaned it up. Xhaka gets at the midfield, and that first time ball from Erdegaard, left footed, right into the path of the speed merchant, Martinelli.
Yeah, it's like I've explained earlier, and it is just a fantastic. That pass is just sublime. It's world class, top level, and like I said earlier, if a KDB or an Özil or I don't know, Foden
Any
or
of those
whatever
players.
had done that same pass, everyone would be creaming themselves and killing themselves in an orgasm. But nope, it's little Martin Ødegaard from Norway who doesn't really make a lot of noise. He just proves what he's worth by what he's doing. Doesn't shout very loud, make a lot of noise, but he's not sweet and sexy like Cristiano Ronaldo. So it's he doesn't get the same props. He doesn't get the same what do you call it? The same
Media.
Media attention
Right.
and basic all that's going around in the circus around him that any of those other names would have got. But I don't mind. We'll keep Ødegaard if no one else wants to big him up and say he should be going to any of these other bigger clubs. I would love to keep him. I'd love to keep him as ours. But yeah, no, that pass is just absolutely sublime. He's got the vision, the timing, and the technique. I mean, there's another angle you see online. There's another angle where you see like from behind the goal, and you're looking up and you see behind the goal, and the way he's angled that pass in between those defenders and into his path. Again, it is absolutely incredible to see. And again, it's on the first touch. He hasn't taken a touch to get himself ready and line up the pass. No, he's seen it and first touch just curled it and put it right on the button. And it's absolutely fantastic goal, fantastic team goal. Good defending, first off to break up their attack, and then straight to Ødegaard, who has that vision and connection with Martinelli, and at the end of the day, it's another fantastic team goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of a better through ball than that.
No, it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely.
Lamptey knows he's in trouble, Tony. Martinelli's pace takes him into that position, and then you've got Saka trailing by the spot.
To me, I thought Martinelli should have did a through ball to Saka.
I mean, he scored. There will be situations where the team can benefit from better understanding of
ball
where
did come pretty close to getting
players are in
away
better
from
position,
Martinelli
but
in the end.
He probably thought, everyone else scored, I'm going to have a go here as well, and he got himself his goal. Martinelli did. So,
we've seen him score like that before, so I don't know. I mean, when he's looking to score, it's the ball's going towards the goal, no doubt about it. When he hesitates and like maybe he's looking for that pass, then we complain that he's taking too long and he's not seeing the field. I mean, he had him beat, as you said, take the advantage, and he did. And goalkeeper wasn't there to get there quick enough to stop him. So, no, I didn't see a problem with it because I didn't see a problem with it. And I do like, as you guys were talking about, Ødegaard and his thinking. I mean, what is it? The quote from Dennis Bergkamp behind every every kick of the ball there has to be a thought. and he definitely has that. I mean, he's doing that. I mean, we saw that in the in the West Ham match where he nutmegged the defender. He got squeezed by two defenders. He nutmegs them and spins around and takes off. Right. I mean, he knows he's got a lot of control with the ball at his feet, and you get in trouble if you try to play him. He makes you look silly. So yeah. as I say, long may it continue to see. I want to see more, right?
Yep.
So,
Tony has been nagging me about updating the upset picks. So there
okay.
they are. They're not necessarily in
10
chronological.
points ahead. Wow.
He's 10 points ahead, but Stan is there. I didn't put him in second place yet.
Oh,
Stan is on
You're in
second.
third place now, Sam.
And Mahir and Alonso were far back, and they've gotten a little bit.
Boy,
further.
you and Gary are fighting it out.
Yes, we are. Okay, so you happy now, Tony?
Yep.
I'm going to come back at you, Tony, you lucky fuck.
Yeah, he picked well. He picked the Aston Villa to beat Tottenham, and they did that today.
Did any of us pick up points last week?
Yes, Gary picked up 3 points. So congratulations, Gary. Okay, we do want a situation. We don't want to be in a situation where a Salah Mane type of situation where our players are looking at each other like you should have passed to me in that situation. But Martinelli scored. We went 4-1 up. We conceded a goal to be 4-2. We were rocking a little bit. We've talked about all of that. Let's get out of here.
It's not a roller coaster.
6 or 7 minutes, we'll be out of here. And if you want to throw in any questions, people, do that. Well, let's talk about the Tony Don Juan man in the match. And Gary, what kind of candidates are you thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, you pick anybody in that front line, I think. I mean, defensively, it looked good for a while, and then it kind of like dropped. So, yeah, Rams had a quiet day. So it's, as you say, it's either the core or Saka or Martinelli for me. I think Erdogan is gets it for me.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that. You know,
Yeah.
Sam, it's really easy, right? Erdogan.
I don't think you can. In my opinion, you can't see past him because he just does everything he did in that game. You know, assist,
Tony's
the goal, passing, the way he controlled the attacking movement. You know, it was just
Tony's gonna have
to get a fantastic game.
Tony's gonna have to get himself a Norway sweater and a Norway strip.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Norway kit. Yeah.
I'm waiting for it, Sam. Just
all right, Tony. Three nominations for Martin Odegaard. I believe he got it for the Wolves game. I know he got it for the West Ham game. Is he getting the Tony Don Juan man in the match?
Yeah, he's kind of been dominating it. He's gonna continue dominating it. It's a pretty easy one this week.
All right, there it is. It's Martin Odegaard is the Tony Don Juan man in the match again. And you mentioned Sam. He's not afraid to put his foot in. I actually think he's been experimenting with a little bit with the dark arts as well. He knows the right time to stop a counterattack, and I think the way we're playing really well. A little word about Newcastle before we go, Sam.
I'm not actually. Well, of course. I mean, don't get me wrong.
No worries.
Very good team. We know they can hurt. We know they can hurt us. Eddie Howe has been a fantastic revelation for them as manager. You know, he's getting the most out of his players. You know, he's Almiron suddenly is looking like Alexis Sanchez, and they've already got Bruno Guimaraes, who's a great player, great central midfielder. Trippier is doing really well from them, influential in their attack from the wing back position. It's they're doing really well. But when it's at Emirates, and we are very, very good at the Emirates and confident at the Emirates, I just think we're too much for them. I think the way we're playing now, the way we gel together, and if we can play the same team, start the same team that we did against Brighton, I think we're too much for them. It's going to be hard. I don't think we're going to score 3 or 4 goals because I think Newcastle are too. I think they're too good of a unit to let 3 or 4 goals in. But I think we're winning. I feel confident about a win. Is what I want to say.
Right. Little story about who did Tony pick in his upset pick. Tony was, I think you call it delinquent if you're being late, right? Tony was late in his picks as usual. He let Friday go by. He let all of the games go by on Saturday. Never put his pick in. And he was going to pick Leeds, but he actually picked Aston Villa. So he kind of lucked out a little bit.
I was sick, Ray. What do you want me to do?
I know. Get your upsets in early before you get sick. I don't know.
It worked for me, didn't it?
It did work for you, and you picked up 8 lucky points because of
Lucky
that.
fuck.
All right, Tony. Newcastle. They are going to be, as Sam said, they're going to be a tough nut to crack. Very good defensively, but they slowed down a little bit against Leeds.
Yeah, they only got 11 goals. Still the best defense in the league.
Actually,
so it's going to be hard to go in there, get the goals. But boy, Odegaard's playing. I think we'll eventually break them down. It might take a while, but we'll eventually bust the nut. Like Sam likes to do.
It's going to be a tough one. Listen, Arsenal
will eventually bust the nut like you like to do.
Arsenal are second in goals for and second in goals against. The 2 teams that are better than us in those departments are Manchester City. They've scored more goals than us, but also Newcastle have conceded less goals than us. So this will not be an easy game, but we have won each and every game, Gary, at home at the Emirates. And we got to take advantage of it because the players must know they have to go to St. James's at the end of the season.
Yeah, okay. I mean, as you say, we're not even looking past our next match. So Newcastle, I think they were threatened a little bit by the Nato. I believe he's a wing for Leeds, and we've got a Martinelli who's, I believe, much better than him. So with that in mind, I think we can put a lot of pressure on them. We should be able to, we're at home, right? So we should be able to get a goal the way we've been playing. If we continue to play our game, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We've got we've got answers all over. So no, it will be tougher. And I think every time we play, everybody's trying to knock us down. All right. So it's doesn't matter where they sit on the table. I mean, one of our toughest games was against Southampton, I think, right? All right. So in terms of like the way the game played out, so this will be another tough one. But we've these challenges keep coming up, and Arteta has a plan. So I'm looking to see what he has in store for this one.
Yeah.
I think we can still win it. We're at home. If we play the way we're supposed to, we'll be okay.
It's going to be a great game. I'm not going to be able to see it live, unfortunately, but it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. They are going to be tough. So I think patience from the home crowd will be needed. And Newcastle are definitely going to dig in. I think they would probably take a point right now. If Newcastle come to the Emirates, I think their mentality might be, let's get a point. And we might be able to use that to our advantage.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
No, I was just gonna say I'm kind of in the same boat. If I get to see anything, it'd be like snippets and stuff. Because I have to do this work thing in an office these days, and that's the middle of the week. So the midweek games are going to be tough for me to.
I've had more practice at that, so you're feeling a little bit more
interfered any with their podcast listening?
Gary's
listening, not so much, but like if I wanted to watch a game, yes, it'd be a little bit challenging to be typing while I'm trying to watch a game. It's hard to do that.
What does Ryan do when you're not available for a watch along?
He's fine. He doesn't need me.
Well, shout out to Mahir. I think he's going
through. Yeah, we got Mahir.
Yeah, there, sir.
Time, so let's cheer him up a little bit.
Top man, Mahir.
I'm good. Just going through a bit of a tough time mentally, and last night my phone was either stolen or lost in an unwalkable crowd.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah,
that sucks, man.
That's it. Yeah. Happy New Year to you.
I would probably get your phone shut down so they couldn't use it or something. Then Stefan, for some odd reason, I don't think Newcastle would be a problem for Arsenal to beat. There you go. If the assembled is being positive, then we're going to definitely get 3 points, right? Yeah. Assembled, definitely not sitting on the fence there. The assembled, like me. I think we can win the game.
I mean, they're right now, the way if we're playing, we're able to play the way we are, and right now the only numbers coming off the bench that we really can depend on is Tierney and Tomiyasu. I think when they're healthy, but otherwise, I think we can compete with everybody in the league, right? So,
and
matter of
Partey for me this season is about Partey. If he can get into 30 games for the season rather than 24, then we will have what we need to have this season. Jordy goes to the doctor and says, "Doc, every time I take my shoe off, my feet smell like coconut." Doctor says, "Well, it's Bounty." I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody in the chat box. Mahir, I hope you're doing better. I hope your spirits can be lifted. Love everyone in the chat box and all of you on the panel as well, even Tony. There, I said it, Tony.
Love you too, Ray.
Even Tony.
Any final words, Sam? We'll let.
Yes,
Tony
I'd like to extend a thank you to Head and Shoulders for sponsoring Tony's shirt tonight. And
it's polka dots.
It's either that or it's a Neil deGrasse Tyson appreciation
That's
shirt.
his 70s shirt.
It's either that or a Stephen Hawking appreciation.
I think I see the little dipper there.
Yeah. See the little dipper there, and then there's the big dipper, and then there's the big wanker in the glasses. That's the biggest constellation.
He's out of that sling though, Sam. He's out of that brace.
I dress nice and I get shit for it.
Yeah,
I'll go back to the fucking.
No, I encourage keep dressing nice, Tony.
It does, Tony. This is just the way it works. No matter what you do, so just do what you want to do, Tony. Did you want to? Is it laundry day? Was it laundry day? Was it church? You went to church? Did you go to church today?
No, I don't ever go to church.
Was it lunch? Was it a laundry day?
They wouldn't let him in church. He's got too many AK-47s. Wow, he's looking beautiful there in his lovely shirt with his big dipper and little wanker on it. It's good.
It's 2023. Tony is he's going into 2023 styling and profiling, as they say, right?
Hey, I can finally move this arm around a little bit.
That's right.
Off and stuff again.
There you go. So things, there you go.
Yeah. But back to a more serious note, I'd like to say once again, Happy New Year to everyone in the chat. Great to see you guys here as always, all the familiar faces. We have a great community here. We come together, the Arsenal fan circle led by this crazy Irish guy above us here.
The fence-sitter.
And we're going for a few years now, and you've got to give him credit for keeping us crazies. I mean, I'm a raving lunatic. It's not easy to keep me going, but he keeps me going, which is good. And just want to say, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you had a great Christmas period. Hope your 2023 is going to be great and much better than 2022. Look upwards and onwards and forwards, everyone. Positive. Remember that there's always a new chance and a new day, and then tomorrow is always a new chance and a new opportunity. Always. Never forget that. Always remain positive. And once again, thank you for this great community. We get together, we talk Arsenal, we talk loads of other crap as well, which is always good fun. But at the end of the day, we're always joined together by this wonderful football club that is Arsenal Football Club. So, it's always great.
Definitely.
And we'll say thanks to the panel here. It's great to see Gary and Tony, as always. And, of course, Ray. Great to see Ray be together with you guys for New Year's Day. And let's hope Arsenal do the job again on Tuesday. It's Tuesday night, isn't it? We're playing Newcastle.
Quick turnaround.
Let's hope we do the job again and then get the 3 points and keep the Arsenal juggernaut going, right?
Exactly. Thunder Road, thanks for joining us today. Thanks everybody. There is no Kahoot today. I was trying to gauge to see if the enthusiasm was still there after 6 weeks, and seeing that people are asking about it. The enthusiasm is there. We will definitely have.
Ray didn't have time to do the Kahoot because he had to write a novella.
Yeah, that's it.
So his description.
It will be back next Sunday. I didn't have time because I had a novella to write about it. Gary, did you get your last say before we turn the reins over to Tony?
I just want to know if Gary read what Ray wrote down there.
I did. That's why it's like ready to fight as soon as we
He was
had
ready
an
to
opportunity.
fight.
Yeah. No, I read it.
You-
Now, I'll just say once again, it was a good 22. It ended. The 22 ended really well. Hopefully,
Yeah.
2023 is really good to everyone. So let's hopefully it works out for us all. Get to have a good time, much less, and also enjoy this Arsenal run that we're on. And hopefully, it continues all the way through March. Sorry, May. Damn it, May.
I said to Stan on Thursday. Stan was like, "We've got one hand. We're in control of this thing," and I kind of don't want to go there yet. We're not in control yet.
No, yeah. I mean, we set ourselves up pretty well, and that's what you want to do. Like, we keep talking about trying to win the Premier League, it looks like this, so we should enjoy it because that's what the plan is going forward. And if we're not going to do it now, then we'll never do it. So everything's in our hands. But once again, thank you for joining us. And as you say, we do this every Sunday.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Sam.
This many points.
I would echo what Gary's been saying. Listen, we can't hide away and worry about this till May. Enjoy each and every game as we win games. We are going to drop some points somewhere. We may even have a blip, but we've got 7 points right now, and we need to try and extend this thing. I think.
Are we contenders or pretenders, Ray?
We're contenders now. You have to say it. You can't.
What did you say after the Man U game?
Well, the Man U game was the 6th game of the season, Tony. Not
what did you say?
We've played 10 games since, and we've dropped 1 point since that.
What did you say then, though, Ray?
Tony, it doesn't fucking matter, does it? Because it's ancient history.
I have more evidence now.
Tony, what did you say in 1974?
I know exactly.
I want to hear Ray say we were.
What difference does it make? It makes no difference. He could have been lying. He could have been telling the truth. It doesn't. We're top of the league for how long, Tony? How long have we been top of the league?
Ray's the positive one, and he said we were pretenders. That's all I want to hear.
But that's after 6 games, you lunatic.
Hey, after 4 games, I said we were to finish second. Come on.
Yeah, okay. I get that. Listen, we're going to finish first or second, Tony. I can say that with 100% certainty. The issue is Liverpool have been trying to do what they've been trying to beat City for 5 years. They did it once.
I think both those teams are kind of tuckered out, playing 70-plus games a year.
That could be the case. It could be both teams are tired out. They've been going at a high level for a number of years. It could be Pep has tweaked things for his Terminator to win the Champions League. Let them win the Champions League. We need the Premier League this year.
You can't get 90 to 100 points every fucking season. It's just
no. As I say, it's a natural dip for them now. It has to be. But what I'm saying, if Pep actually finally wins the Champions League, which is the one trophy he wants to win with City. If he finally wins, he's gonna be out of Manchester quicker than a rat through a fucking.
Where do you think he's gonna go? That's what I don't think he's going back to.
Go back to Barcelona.
He could have a sabbatical. He could have another sabbatical for a year, or he'll maybe go to try a national team. Maybe he'll try the Spanish national team or something like that. You never know.
That wouldn't surprise me. That'd be a interesting deal for him.
Gary, you got a show tomorrow?
Yes, I do. We'll have the show tomorrow. 12:30 a.m. for you guys across the pond. 7:30 for those on the East Coast. Yeah, I think we'll have everybody back for that. And
let's see if I can wear another shirt with polka dots and get made fun of, like Gary.
Just you getting made fun of is actually the only thing you have to say.
Yeah,
doesn't matter what you're wearing, Tony.
Tony, I'm going to get the new list out for the upset challenge. Make sure you get your pick in early. Don't blink because the games start actually tomorrow, I think.
I think we need rules. I think Mr. Tom put it in the chat earlier. We need rules. We need FPL level rules where if you miss the first kickoff, that's it. You're out.
There you go.
you're the fucker that didn't pick Arsenal until
too nice.
The lineup came.
What I will say is,
first game when everybody had COVID.
Everybody enjoy everybody enjoyed New Year's Day. I do have to go right after the podcast.
You didn't
But I
use
have put
inside
the link
information
in.
on that one,
I
Sam?
have to put the link in for people to drop in backstage if you want to talk to these three or whoever wants to stick around for a little bit. Now, Tony, take it away. You get the final word, Tony, and say something nice.
Say something nice. Okay. Glad 2022 is over. Long year for me.
Yeah.
Lots of doctor visits, usually 2 to 3 a week. It looks like I have 9 scheduled for January already. Yeah. But hopefully everybody has better health, spends time with their family, and doesn't take any moment for granted. Just like this season with Arsenal, don't take it for granted. We haven't seen it for a very long time. Hopefully it continues. Really only worries injury to some of our front players, but other than that, we should keep on selling. And we're pretenders. We're not pretenders, Ray. We're contenders.
All right. Very good. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Hit the likes on the way out and go see Gary tomorrow. And
they're to come see me and Tom, not Gary.
Pick your upset, Tony, tonight, okay? I'll send it out tonight. Do it, Tony. Do it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Gary.
Yes.
Thanks, Tony. Come on, you're good. 7 points clear. 7 up of City. Who would have thought we were there? We have to keep
7 up, Ray.
7 up.
South
Coast.
You got lazy on your.
Okay, what was your alternative title?
I don't know, but you're getting lazy on these, Ray.
No, I liked it. I liked it. 7 up was
Your
good.
puns are getting lazy.
7 up.
I write a whole book and I'm getting lazy. Okay, I see. Tony, take care. Gary,
I
thank
said
you.
your puns are getting lazy,
you.
Ray.
You got 2 seconds, Tony. Good
Not
night,
even
everyone.
valid. Good night, everyone.
Come on, you guys.